JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 2nd of July 2020, so yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation. It should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump in, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now then, let's quickly jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the German DAX. Now there's a lot of positivity today in the market. We did get, by the way, we did get the US data as well. First of all, of course, we got the PPI figures from Eurozone, which came out a bit of a as a disappointment. However, the sentiment kind of got boosted by the unemployment, the Eurozone unemployment rate, which showed up at 7.4% versus the forecasted 7.7, but of course the actual number was still slightly worse than the previous number. However, the market is still taking that as in a positive way. Now today also we had already the US non-farm payrolls, which came out at 4.8 million, which managed to beat their forecast, which was sitting at 3 million. And basically the unemployment rate from the in the US has fallen as well to 11.1% from the previous 13.3%, and the expectation was at around 12.3%. So basically 11.1, slightly better result, but still of course not ideal, not the ones that we had pre-pandemic, but nevertheless it seems that the country is on the right track. However, the average hourly earnings, now those have disappointed, well, the month-on-month figure came out at minus 1.2%, whereas the year-on-year figure came out at 5%. So I mean, it was expected to come out at 5.3, but still came out worse. So well, I mean, looking at some cash indices, I mean from the US ones, then yep, we can see that kind of gave a boost. But first, of course, let's have a look at the German DAX. So the index here is pushing nicely to the upside. It managed to climb above this 12,484 level that I talked about previously. So let's see if it manages to stay above this area. If it does, then yep, of course, we'll keep an eye on the high of the 23rd of June near the 12,616 mark. It is approaching that area right now. It will be quite interesting to see if we can actually overcome this or not. If we can, yes, then of course the next target here could be that highest point of June near the 12,913 mark. But again, we'll keep it short and simple for now. Yes, we are leaning a little bit more to the upside. For now, we're targeting the 12,616 zone. We want to see how it's going to perform around here. If it manages to overcome that, yes, we will aim for higher levels. Now then, jumping into NASDAQ 100. Now this is going to be very exciting to see when the market opens up today, because the cash index has exploded to the upside. It's currently trading at around 10,382 zone, basically above this barrier, above the high of yesterday. And let me just put this one on the chart. And yesterday's high was roughly around the 10,322 mark, and basically the index yesterday reached an all-time high, and today we're going to have a nice opening gap here to the upside, which of course automatically will lead to another all-time high. But the big question here is, I mean, how far can this accelerate, how far this can move north? So we'll be very careful, because the index is already in an uncharted territory, so it's a little bit difficult to try and find a good area of resistance in there. Maybe levels like 10,500 zone could play out, levels like 10,500, yeah, so maybe those could play out, but again, it's just for now it's a little bit tricky, so be very careful with that upside. Yes, for now it could continue pushing further north, but well, be very careful, because the index is already a little bit overbought. However, I mean, don't get me wrong, it might continue traveling further north. It could stay in that overbought territory for quite a while. Now, jumping into a few commodities here, or actually in this case, right now for this session, we'll only look at gold, only one commodity. But what I was mentioning this morning was that gold is kind of today balancing near this upside support line taken from the low of the 5th of June, and this morning we were kind of we saw gold pushing higher a little bit. However, as you can see, at one point it did drift lower, it did break this upside line, but the bulls are pushing this one back above this upside line. So the big question, can we see a daily close above this? If we can, then this kind of still might help to keep the upside in play in the near term. However, if we do get a violation, another violation here, and we do get the daily close below this upside line, then maybe further declines could be possible. But as I've mentioned this morning, this territory right here between the below this upside line but above the 1748 zone will be somewhat of a neutral one for us, because ideally, in order to aim for lower levels, we would prefer to wait for a drop below the 1748 zone and then target some lower areas. Litecoin. So again, not much excitement here, but let me just probably redraw everything here, because again, it's a little bit tricky, and at the moment the crypto world is not the most exciting one to be in. You can see that yes, this specific crypto is drifting below this downside line taken from the high of the 2nd of June. The crypto also is, let me just put this one on the chart, just bear with me one moment. You can see that the crypto is also struggling to overcome this barrier here, this hurdle, the 39 at 39 level. So in a way, we could say that maybe we are seeing a nice possible descending triangle, but however, it's not an ideal one, so that's why we're going to skip that idea. For now, we're just going to focus on this downside line, and in order for us to aim for lower levels, we'll wait for a drop below the 39 mark, and then yes, we could consider further declines. But again, for now, we are very close now to this downside line, so let's see if it can continue to hold the price from moving higher. If it fails to do so, then watch out for this little level right here, the high of the 24th of June, near the 44.75 mark. A nice good push above this could also place the price above the 100-day EMA, shown here as the green line, and then yep, maybe more buyers could drive this one further north towards the highest point of June near the 50.13 mark, and around here it could also test the 200-day EMA. So that's why be very careful, guys. For now, basically the big question here is, can this downside line, or should I say, for how long can this downside line keep the price lower? Now, jumping into a few pairs very quickly, AUDCAD, I talked about this one yesterday, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this barrier, the 0.9463 territory, which continues to provide decent resistance. Now, you can see that today we did test that area again. However, the bulls kind of failed to push the pair above it. Now, don't get me wrong, we still have a full US session to go through, so let's keep an eye on this one. let's see if this pair can actually finally move above this 0.9426 territory. If it can, then yes, higher levels could be met, and we will then aim for the maybe for the highest point of April 2019 near the 0.9615 territory right here. But again, as I said, we need that confirmation break, and ideally a daily close would do the trick here. Could do the trick here for more buyers. In terms of the downside, the drop below the 0.9271 territory, 71, 72 zone could maybe open the door towards slightly lower areas. Now, USDCHF. This pair I talked about this morning, and basically this pair is stuck here in this little range, and for now we will not do anything. We're just going to continue observing the price action, because today, as you can see, the pair drifted lower. It tested the this lower side of the range here near the 0.9425 area, and kind of failed to move below it and rebounded. So don't get me wrong, we still have a full US session to go through, so maybe the bears could kind of pop in again here and drive this one a little bit lower. However, more of those bears could join in if we do get that drop below the 0.9425 zone. But again, we'll be very careful still, because we would be then approaching the lowest point of June near the 0.9422, because it may, in a way, it may provide support. But if that fails, then yep, further declines could be possible. GBPNZD. So this one I talked about Euro NZD this morning, and basically GBPNZD here is pushing lower, so the New Zealand dollar is on the stronger side right now. The pair continues to trade below this downside line taken from the high of the 15th of May, but in a way, in order for us to get comfortable with further declines, we need to see a drop below this little territory right here, the 1.9115 territory, somewhere around here, and if we do get a break below that, this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and the next target for us could be around the 1.8996 zone. So for now, you can see that the pair is drifting lower sharply, and so let's see if it can actually move below this 1.9115. If it does, then the next target for us is around the 1.8996 territory. Now, GBPUSD, slightly different story here. We had a nice pop yesterday through this downside line taken from the high of the 10th of June, which kind of, in a way, opened the door towards higher levels. But as you can see today, the pair traveled higher but failed to move above one of these levels that I recently mentioned this week, this 1.2543 zone. And for now, we need to see a nice good break above that, at least above that, in order to consider, let's say, higher levels. Until then, yes, we could remain a little bit more bullish than bearish. I would even say cautiously bullish on this specific pair here, but yeah, I mean, it's still a difficult one. If it struggles, for example, to push above the 1.2543 zone, then it may drift back down here and maybe test this downside line from above. So that's why we'll remain a little bit on the neutral side here, let's say, for now. But again, like I said, we'll wait for a pop above the 1.2543 territory in order to aim for higher levels. In terms of the downside, preferably we would like to wait for a move below this area right here, below the 1.2250 territory, which is marked by the low of this week, and then aim for lower levels. Until then, we're not really going to do anything here and just continue observing the price action. And finally, Euro USD. So the pair did try to have an attempt to break this downside line, the one that I kept mentioning this whole week. So it overshot it a little bit, but as you can see, the bears quickly pushed the pair back down. So as same story, the same analysis kind of remains in play, the one that I've mentioned this whole week. As long as it stays, this pair is going to stay here in this little area right here between the 1.1168 zone and this downside line. Will remain neutral, because we need to see a nice good clear breakthrough one of these levels before one of these lines before kind of, let's say, targeting in the next directional move. So that's why, guys, for now, be very careful. So I hope you found it useful, guys. So thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to join my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, that's 6 o'clock GMT time. We'll pick up on some of these instruments, some new ones, and then we'll take it from there, guys. So yeah, have a wonderful trading trading day, guys. Stay safe. If you're still trading, of course, have a wonderful trading day. Be very careful, and yep, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.